so as promised, here we are. A bit of a follow-up from the last video. We'll have a bit of a closer look at the Roland MC-307 here, and I'll show you a little bit of how I stem out from the hardware, and also I'll give you a bit of a preview of how I finished up with the track I started in the last video. So let's do this one first. So, I mean, first I should say, why the MC-307? And honestly, it's because I've got it. I bought this one years ago. I'll try and pull out a couple of pictures to show you my extremely shabby setups from many, many moons ago. I got this machine after working with a buddy of mine who had the 505. That was a wicked machine, and in retrospect, I wish I had the 505. I can't remember why I bought this one. It was the later of the three models that came out, the 303, the 505, and then this one. Who knows? But I've got it. It's been through the wars. I did mention that this section, the play button doesn't work anymore. So yeah, I just use it as a sound module. Let's have a look at a few bits. So I talked about these knobs in the last video. I said ADSR, but you've just got an attack and a release control here. And why that's cool for me, the other sound modules I've got here, there's no knobs. The JV 1080, great machine, but there's no like hands-on. You have to get in there and scroll through menus to adjust things, which isn't a problem, but it's nice to have something that you can just tweak. And although this isn't 100% fitting of the 90s style jungle that I make, there are a few sounds in here that do kind of lend themselves to that vibe. So, you know, I'm making the most of what I've got here. So let's have a quick look. So, you know, what did I have? I had this. Where are we? Go in there, part select. This is how you choose your sounds. This is one of the sounds I used, and I just kind of, look, if I just go up here, this is how you choose what you're adjusting. If I go here, see we got the attack there, and I can just roll that off. I just wanted a reverse bass sound. So that's that. I won't go through all the, oh, maybe I will, you know, maybe I will. Look, so this is the other bass I used. Kind of a Reese sort of thing, with a bit of an attack on it there. Got a bit of a thump to it. This rev chord thing. Actually, while I'm in this sound, there's a hold button down here. I'll just play around with the filter. Did I get it? Yep, I got it. So this is your filter section up here. You got your usual suspects, low pass, band pass, high pass, all that business. Let's give it a little tweak. There we go. Ooh. So yeah, you have to be a bit careful with the resonance, because it can kind of distort a little bit if you're not careful. But yeah, that's fun, you know. You've also got your LFO here next door. All your wibbly wobbly stuff. Yeah, good times, good times. What else have I got in here? I use this sinister kind of thing. Yeah. We got this oscillator sound here. A sweep and some percussion. Yeah, so that's pretty much all I used for that track. What else do I want to say? Oh, so how I've been using this in the past, which is why it was sat on top of that mixer. I've just used channel 10 here, and I almost used it how you would use a program in a sampler. You know, you set your sounds to your key group. So because for the most part, like when I've done a track, I might have already used MIDI 1, 2, 3, like up to 7. And with this one, you can't change that. So yeah, I would often get to a point and think, oh, you know, I could do with an extra little something. So I'd use this MIDI 10, I'd go into edit, and here you can just, you know, you can edit the drum pads to have different sounds, and you can use some of the I actually don't know where they all are. We'll just scroll through here quickly and see what we can find. These are all drum sounds. But yeah, there's like stabs and, you know, you heard those sweeps. There's zaps and all sorts of weird and wonderful stuff that I'm probably not going to be able to find right now. Here we go, look. Oh, look. There you go. Sorry, wrong one. There you go. Sweep, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying. So yeah, I'd get those up and just use a few in a track. And what else can you do here? If I come out of here, so you can change the pitch here, you can change the level, the pan, you can add a filter from here. Which one was I just hitting? This one. So look, it's on low pass there. If I roll that back, is it doing it? Yeah, did it. Gone completely. There you go. And yeah, you can add an envelope there as well. So you can kind of mess around with each sound. Yeah, so that's it. As I'd mentioned, there's this DJ section here that I never used. I was never a DJ back in those days, but you know, you got your pitch control. You can hold, if you were playing a beat on here, you can kind of beat match it by holding and pushing, just as you'd manipulate a turntable. What else? If I go into this setup menu here, I don't know if you can see the screen, but you've just got like a main mixer there for the sounds. If I scroll down through the pages, you've got your pan there, your overall pans. You can change the pitch of each sound. You got your reverb level, delay level there, and this multiple effects thing. So if I just like kind of bring that down here, so we've now apparently got an effect which you can choose here. All right, yeah, so it's just an EQ at the moment. If I just scroll through, that's an enhancer. There you go. That's an overdrive. You can hear that, and you can go into the parameters here and change that. What else we got? Oh, distortion, some sort of lo-fi-ness, noise. Yeah, you know, there's 25 of these. Compressor there, limiter, slicer, so on. Yeah, so that's that. I think that's all I want to say really on this piece of kit. That's all I use it for. Like I said, you can sequence a whole track in here. It used to be my main thing. My computer wasn't up to much. I had this and a hard disk recorder mixer thing, and that was me. But now it just sits here, and like I say, it's here, so why not use it? Yeah. All right, let's move on. I did suggest that I might show a little bit about how I mix down once I've finished in the hardware, so we might as well look at that. Let's do it. So I'll give you a blast of the whole track at the end of the video. I'll just run you through the different sounds that are in the samplers and some of the stuff that's running through the mixer. So I'm just flicking through the MIDI channels here in Octamed. These are those Groovebox sounds. So we've got this Amen here coming from the S950, and as I'd mentioned before, I don't normally run breaks through the S950. It's normally there for my vocals and sound effects and that kind of stuff. Got a little bit of an acapella here. What else we got here? Okay, this is that electro set from the Groovebox. A little bit of a raw break from your Jungle Warfare, I think from the first one. A bit of a pad here. These sounds are both from the JV 1080 sitting up there. And I think these are the Amen breaks that I've got coming from the Akai S950. So you've got some pitched ones, stretched business and a few little reverse thing there. All the good stuff. Oh, and this one. Love this one. Old school, mate. All right, wicked. So, look, I just thought I'd give you a quick flick through the sounds here in the S2000 from the machine itself. In all their glory.
So what I'm actually saying to you, just looking at this very quickly, ring. This car is a ringer.
Here's another funky flow from the funky one you know, coming like the bass real low. Trish, the track attacker, weak rapper, macker, smacker, spectator, kidnapper.
It gets you out the house.
Funky flow from the funky one you know.
Someone in the last video had asked about the mixdown process, so I thought I'd touch on that. I got some of the outputs from the S2000 coming through the desk, the EMU, the 307. I don't have any outboard effects. I've just got this Chaos pad here to add a bit of delay where it needs it. Normally I would just do my mixdown on the desk, but having delivered to labels and been asked for stems, I had to get into a bit of a pattern of bouncing out separates. Now, what I've done is I've ran some of the outs, or all of the outs from the S950 are going straight into my audio interface. And then I've got the stuff that's coming through the desk I have to mute out. I have to run the track with a whole bunch muted out, just solo something, and then solo the next thing, and so on. Now, I used to do that completely freestyle. It was off the grid, and I'd have to line everything up by eye afterwards. It was a bit silly, really. So I had a bit of a look, and I found there's a really easy way to just use the Ableton clock and have Octamed sync with that clock when I'm bouncing in, and then everything kind of sits nicely on the grid. So as you can see here, I've got the sync happening. As soon as I hit the space bar in Ableton, Octamed starts playing, which is great. So just to give you a bit of a closer look at that, I've sequenced an Amen from the S950, and I'll just show you how that sync works and bounce it into live. You get yourself into the MIDI page here, and you just click external sync. It's as easy as that. As long as you've got your MIDI coming out of Ableton into your MIDI interface of your Amiga, you're good to go. So it helps to put a dummy block at the beginning of your sequence, just to give that MIDI a chance to catch up with itself. So that's pretty much all I got for you. I did promise a bit of a sample pack in the last video, so I've put a few sounds together from the MC-307, plus that filtered Amen break from the S950, which I'll pop a link in the description for. And here's a bit of a preview of the track. I might change it from here. That's one of the beauties of having it in Ableton as separates. If I decide afterwards I want to change some stuff, I can always chop it around in there. And this is just a rough mix down for the purposes of this video, but yeah, here you go.
I'm actually saying to you, just looking at this very quickly, this car is a ringer. Ring, 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 ring.
car's a ringer. This car's a ringer. This car's a ringer. Yeah. This car's a ringer. Yeah. Ringer.
It gets you out the house.
Ringer. So what I'm actually saying to you, just looking at this very quickly, this car's a ringer. Ringer.
It gets you out the house.